Here's the old business model. The full service agency, websites, check. Ads, check. Random logo design at 2 a.m. Sure, why not? But here's the catch. Clients don't want a jack of all trades. They want a scalpel, precision, and they want expertise. I'm Kurt Schmidt, and I learned the hard way. Trying to do it all left me with stressed teams, thin profits, and a business that felt like, well, that.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
I'm the founder of Schmidt Consulting, and I help creative marketing and software development agencies grow. And if there's one pattern I keep seeing, it's agencies fighting against the very thing that could set them free, choosing a niche. Studies show that agencies can hit profit margins up to 40, 50, 60, 70%, which is way above the 15 to 20% average for generalists. So why is it so hard to make the leap? Look, I get it. Niching down is scary stuff. It feels like you're shrinking your market on purpose, like you're just turning away good money. Recent surveys say that 61% of agency owners worry about losing opportunities when they specialize, which is it's pretty common. I felt the same way. But it's a moment when that potential client comes to you with a project that's not really your focus, but the budget looks really good, and you think, well, we just need this one to get across to the next level. That do-it-all approach, it's like being a Swiss Army knife in a world where clients are looking for specialized surgical instruments. Sure, you can cut things, but no one's reaching for a Swiss Army knife when they need precision. Full-service agencies often see client retention rates drop by 70%, while niche players hold steady at 85% or higher because they deliver exactly what their clients need. And here's the good news. Your ideal niche is probably hiding in your past work. You don't need to reinvent it. You just need to discover it. Start by asking these 3 critical questions about your previous projects. Which clients gave you the highest profit margins? Not just revenue, but actual profit. Niche agencies focusing on high value sectors like healthcare or tech often see margins of 30-40%. compared to 10-20% for some of these broad service firms. Which projects did your team absolutely crush? Were they doing their best work with the least amount of stress? Which clients understood your value immediately versus those who constantly questioned your rates or the timelines or how you were getting the work done? Which industry do you have the most credibility in already? Where have you already built relationships and earned referrals? And maybe most importantly, which work actually energized you rather than drained you? Let me give you a real example. I worked with an agency that analyzed their past work and noticed their healthcare projects consistently outperformed everything else. They were hitting 40-50% profit margins on those jobs, way above what they were at before at 15%, because clients valued that expertise over price. The projects had a clear scope, and the team was generally interested in the work, and they were being more strategists and partners than they were just butts in seats. They didn't fire all their non-healthcare clients overnight. Instead, they started small, dedicating about 20% of their marketing to healthcare-specific content. 6 months later, that became 50%. A year later, 80%. They doubled revenue while reducing their client base by a third. Fewer clients, but more money. That's the power of focus, backed by data showing that niche agencies grow revenue 20% faster than generalists. Your ideal niche sits at the intersection of 3 factors. Profitability. Which types of clients consistently deliver the best margins? Think 30 to 40% instead of scraping by at 10%. Enjoyment. What work do you and your team genuinely like doing? And then growth potential. Is this niche expanding or contracting? For example, software dev agencies targeting AI startups are riding a wave projected to grow 37 to 40% annually all the way through 2030. And remember, a niche isn't just about picking an industry. You can niche by client size, geography, service type, or even just the client situation, like companies going through digital transformations, a market that's ballooned in 25% since 2023. This isn't about flipping a switch. Honestly, you'll be running 2 businesses simultaneously for a little while. Your existing full-service business pays the bills while you build your specialized practice. Start by creating a separate section on your website for your chosen niche. Don't overhaul everything at once. Next, develop specific messaging that focuses on results, not services. Instead of saying, "We build websites that convert," try, "We help independent financial advisors increase client acquisition by 40% through trust-building digital experiences. That's not just talk. Specialized agencies report 40 to 50% higher conversion rates with targeted messaging. Your content needs to split too. Keep creating the general content, but start dedicating about a quarter of your content to your actual niche, highlighting actual results and not just capabilities. This transition period, it's going to be a little awkward, and you got to bring your team along with you. You've got to talk to them. You've got to tell them what your vision is and why it's so important. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a little bit awkward. You'll still talk to clients who don't fit your emerging niche, and you'll probably still take on some of this work. Bills need to be paid. But each time ask yourself, is this moving me towards my goal or is it keeping me stuck? Here's what nobody tells you about niching down. Your market becomes so much easier. You'll know exactly which conferences to attend, which publications to target, which LinkedIn posts to make. You'll notice the more you niche down, the more your leads will go up, but the marketing costs will go way down. And over the last 18 months, I've seen sales cycles triple, quadruple in some cases. But in niching down, your sales cycles actually get shorter. When prospects see you consistently solving problems for businesses just like theirs, trust builds faster, and so does FOMO. Data shows niche specialists close deals at least 30% quicker. People might forget that agency that does everything, that agency that does marketing, or that agency that builds websites. But they definitely remember the agency that specializes in membership sites for professional associations. Referral rates for niche agencies can hit 50% compared to 20% for generalists. And I know, I've been through this myself. So here's my challenge to you. This week, analyze your 10 past most profitable projects using the questions I shared. Look for patterns that point to your natural niche. Then draft what your agency's positioning might look like if you focus there. This market doesn't reward generalists anymore. It rewards specialists who can confidently say, this is exactly what we do, who we do it for, and why we're the best at it. In 2024 and 2025, niche marketing agencies saw client satisfaction jump for full service shops. I'm Kurt Schmidt, and if you want more insights on growing your agency, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay focused.